Hey mama, my name is Allegra Gast and I'm an international board certified lactation consultant and registered dietitian. I'm a mom of four, including twins, and it is my passion to help moms in their breastfeeding journeys. Today, I've teamed up with Momcozy to bring you some information about milk production and how to increase your milk supply. So before I go into the foundations of milk supply, I always like to ask my clients, what makes you think that you have low milk supply? What makes you think that baby is not getting enough? And so the best way to know if you're making enough breast milk or if your baby's getting enough is their output. So what goes in must come out. Is baby having 6 to 8 wet and poopy diapers? How is baby's weight gain? Is your baby gaining weight? How is baby's overall demeanor? Do they seem content afterwards? Sometimes you can watch their fists. So usually before a feeding begins, they'll be a little more tight. Their fists will be clenched. And as the feeding goes on, they start to relax. Do you hear swallows, that k, k, k sound when they're at the breast? A lot of times moms will just feel their breasts and feel empty, so to speak, but that does not mean that they have low milk supply. Watching your baby, watching their output, watching their weight gain, listening to those swallows are all great ways to know if you're making enough breast milk. So the way that breast milk production works is a supply and demand basis. So the analogy I like to give is like going to an ice machine. The more frequently you're going to the ice machine, the more that machine is going to dispense ice. If you're not really going to the ice machine, it's just kind of like here and there, then that machine is not going to continue dispensing ice. So same with breastfeeding. The more frequently you add baby to the breast or you put baby to the breast, the more frequently you pump, that is going to tell your body to increase that milk production. So I love recommending a pump. Sometimes if you do have low milk supply or you want to build a stash for any reason, adding in some pumping sessions can be very helpful. So I love the Momcozy mobile flow. You can just put it right in your bra and maybe you breastfeed your baby and then you pump afterwards. That is encouraging that supply and demand, telling your body to increase that demand, increase that production. There are some caveats though in regards to milk production. You want to make sure that you're in a healthy state. If you have insulin resistance, hypothyroidism, maybe even PCOS, that can impact your milk supply. If you're dehydrated, if you're cutting calories, not eating enough, that can also impact your supply. If you're stressed, that can also impact supply. So oxytocin, which is the milk ejection reflex, it's that love reflex. It tells your body to release that milk, so the letdown. And cortisol, which is the stress hormone, impacts and impedes that oxytocin. So oftentimes when we're very stressed, it will have a negative effect on that oxytocin. Taking deep breaths before you pump or you breastfeed, going outside barefoot and doing some grounding, just trying to relax and take deep breaths to try to calm yourself and calm that stressful nervous system. I know as moms, we have a lot, we're carrying a lot, the overload of motherhood, but really try to do what you can. Another thing that can impact your milk supply is how much breast tissue you have. And I would strongly recommend working with an IBCLC lactation consultant to really dig deeper and see, is it something on baby's end? Are they removing milk? Is it something with the pump? Or is it your anatomy? Because oftentimes if you have low breast tissue, that can impact how much milk your body is able to make. In regards to baby being efficient at the breast, getting that deep latch is going to be very beneficial. So when we talk about a good latch, we want to make sure that baby is tummy facing your tummy. So their tummy is facing your tummy. One arm is under, one is over. You're supporting them by the nape of the neck. You're supporting your breasts. And you can actually just kind of tickle their upper lip, and that will elicit baby to open wide, and then you're going to bring them into the chest with their chin leading. So just like when we eat an apple or a hamburger, we're kind of tilting our head back and we go into whatever we're eating. So same with the baby, kind of lean back, have them elicit that reflex, and then bring them into you and get that deep latch. If baby has any kind of tension or oral restriction, like a tongue tie, that is impacting that tongue from having full range of motion and can impact the way that they're removing milk. And if they are not efficiently feeding, then that's over time going to tell your body to decrease that milk production. And so we really want to make sure that baby is efficient at the breast. Same with pumping. We want to make sure that you have the right flange size. So we come in all different shapes and sizes. And so with the Momcozy, they actually sell separate inserts. So what you're going to do to make sure that you have the right flange size is measure your nipple. So Momcozy gives you a nipple ruler, your nipple tool, measuring tool. And so like in this demo breast here, you're just going to put your nipple in the holes, and whichever one your nipple hole fills in comfortably, that is your nipple size. So for example, this breast here is 15 millimeters. Then you're gonna add about 2 millimeters on top of that. So I would recommend a 17 millimeter flange for this breast. So then you're gonna get that insert, 17 millimeter flange, and put it right into the hole in the Momcozy Mobile Flow. You then want to play around with the suctions, play around with the setting, make sure that is very comfortable. You can even do hands-on pumping, which is where you're compressing your breast right behind the pump to help elicit more milk, which then is driving that supply and demand, which is going to tell your body to keep making more milk. So those are some ways to help increase your supply. You'll see a lot of things out there about lactation cookies and galactagogues, which are herbs that may help increase your milk supply, and it might help, but I find that the best thing is really that milk removal, doing lots of skin to skin, making sure you're hydrated, and with that hydration, making sure you're getting electrolytes. So electrolytes like sodium, potassium, magnesium, chloride, calcium, they help transport that water you're drinking and bring it into the cells for proper hydration. So there's a lot that goes into supply and demand and breastfeeding production. Do not just feel your breasts and think that you don't have any milk. Watch baby, watch that output. Don't always go with how much you're making either. How is baby gaining weight? How is their output? How is their demeanor? And if you are doubting your supply, I would strongly recommend reaching out to your local IBCLC lactation consultant or breastfeeding support group. Thank you so much for watching this. I would love if you could comment, like, and share, as we want more moms to feel supported in their breastfeeding journey. I also welcome you to join the Momcozy Facebook group for additional support. And I know breastfeeding is hard. There's a lot of trust that goes into it because you just physiologically cannot see how much baby is getting. There's a lot of trust in your body as well as trust in your baby. So you're doing a great job. Hang in there and follow along for more.
Cozy Power by Momcozy.